Canada officially eliminated from moving on to the round of 16, 4-1 loss to Croatia here today. Let's bring on into the show someone who knows what it's like to compete at big tournaments. She's an Olympic medalist. She's competed at the World Cup. That, of course, is Diana Matheson. Welcome to Soccer North. My friend, your feelings after that one where you have this historic moment of Davies scoring the first ever goal at a men's World Cup to a pretty big loss for the Canadians in this one. How are you feeling?
Feelings. Probably same as you folks. I think same as a lot of Canadians. The buzz around this tournament, the excitement around this tournament's been something that's been pretty cool. And I think we're all equally sad that the third game we won't necessarily have anything to play for. That said, I think that means we've also got a third game to enjoy, and I'm sure John's going to regroup his team here and aim to set history for getting Canada's first win in a men's World Cup. So I'm looking forward to that still. But yeah, I think like all of Canadians right now, a bit sad and disappointed right now, but still pretty proud of that group over there.
If you could take us into the room, Dee, because again, you've been at so many tournaments as well. Has there been like one that you've been in where you know that third game does become more about pride? It can be one about spoiling things for the other team, but it doesn't mean anything for you to move on. What's said? How do you rally the troops? What is it that motivates you to play in that third game?
I think it's different for every group and the circumstance. I think the circumstances of this one are that Canada's men's national team has already made history, ignited, this wave of excitement in Canadian men's soccer. And like, we're not turning back from that. This is the beginning of a new era in Canadian men's soccer. And with 2026 around the corner, like if the buzz was like this in Canada this year, I'm so looking forward to 2026. And I think these guys have an opportunity to gain a third game of World Cup experience and go out and try and get that win now. So that in 2026, that storyline going in isn't, oh, when are they going to get their first win? No, they can go get the win the next game. That's already checked off. And then 2026, all these guys are going to have 4 more years of experience under their belt. Jimmy was talking about it. Hopefully this World Cup gives some opportunities for a lot of these players to move to better clubs, get more minutes, better leagues, so that all our players kind of have that next level of experience in 2026, because I think that's the only thing that was missing this time around.
Diana, when you look at this last game, obviously we're disappointed, really. I mean, not getting anything from the last 2 games, especially the first one. We felt we should have got something. Do you maybe take a different approach going into this third game, and where you say, okay, maybe I'm not going to start the best 11, but I'm going to actually get some quality time for other players that haven't played much, maybe a goalkeeper like Dane St. Clair, get him in, get some World Cup experience? Or do you go again with your best starting 11 into this match?
Yeah, I think for me, I go best starting 11 again. If you've got a core group here who's going to be around for a while, and get them that experience of game after game after game in a World Cup, because, in 2026, we're going to need these guys to do more than 3 games as well. And go after the win, go after it, get after Morocco for those 3 points. Cause again, that'll be huge. That's setting history, and there's nothing John Herdman and his teams like to do better than set history. So I think that's going to be a pretty clear target for these guys. They've got the goal out of the way. We've scored the goal. Okay. Now it's about getting the 3 points. And I mean, that's important. It's going to matter to them. It's going to matter to Canadians. Okay. We're not playing to get through to the next round, but we can play for 3 points here. And that's pretty huge in Canadian history too. And then that's out of the way for 2026. Because if it's not, that's just going to be the news story going in. Oh, when are they going to get their first win? Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. And, the talk going into this one as well, Dee, was how many Canadian players were going to catch the eye of European clubs. And we're already hearing that Alistair Johnston has a verbal agreement with Celtic. We know some Canadians are playing in Europe, but now we wonder if they'll just end up going on to, higher leagues. Even Jonathan David, the rumor's been there forever, even though he's with Lille. Will he end up going to the Premier League? How much do you think these players as well are using this opportunity? In fact, Jonathan Osorio has been very open and honest in saying he was using the World Cup to showcase, to be able to, live out a dream of playing overseas. How much do you think that motivates? And then once again, goes back to helping them when you play at higher leagues, how that affects the national program?
Yeah, I think you have to use this as a stepping stone to level up your pro career as well. Cause that's that's where you spend the majority of your time, and that's where you're honing your game, and that's where you're, if you're playing at that next level up, that's going to prepare every player more for 2026. So I think player for player, you have to take advantage of that. Similar on the women's side, once we started making podiums, then suddenly our players in the professional game became a lot more attractive to countries. Canadians have to be cool to be able to sign. You can have the same player, but if that country's not kind of trendy, you're not seen on the world stage, you're not going to get signed. And I think Canadian men's players now are going to be a little bit cooler than they were before, and that's important for leveling up that base of the national team, because you can do this every 4 years, but unless your guys are in better and better environments, that gap is always going to be there. So it's huge, I think, to take advantage of this world stage to level up our professional game for our players.